Oh, yay, we're on. I don't know what happened. Suddenly, magically, we're on. And let me know. We are on now. I hope. Let me know. Yes, great. Thanks, Mr. Radar. Glad you could join us. So, yeah, the project today is to move localhost. When I turn this on, it's connected to a Raspberry Pi. And the Raspberry Pi is very old and slow, and I'm going to replace it. And that is today's project. With any luck, we're going to replace it with a Raspberry Pi-sized thing from Google, which is called the EdgeTPU, and it's got some strange characteristics, like it's tuned for machine learning, but also basically it runs Debian Linux, some flavor of Debian Linux. So last time we at least unboxed the TPU and somehow managed to connect to it almost. And we got as far as the U-boot line, and then fast boot to actually flash the system image on it broke. So I ended up with basically a bricked machine, which is kind of sad. The place that took us was you could start it up and it would complain. When U-boot looked for the system image, it just said couldn't find whatever it was. So what I did was I copied the system image onto a little SD card. Then I booted this again from the SD card by flipping these little switches, and I got it to boot again, and I flashed it, which was surprisingly laborious and very uninteresting to watch, because it was just like, let's flash the image. But I have not yet booted up on this thing. It's powered off right now. You can see two lights on. Those lights just mean there is a serial console connection. There's no power to the board. The serial console has a CP210X driver chip as its UART, and that's powered by the bus. So we have a serial connection coming into this, and the serial connection is kind of indirectly from the Teletype, but it's indirect. And yeah, I'm a bit sad about that. I can't connect directly to this machine with the Teletype, and the reason is my Teletype has a current loop to USB adapter, and the current loop to USB adapter is a USB device. It's not a USB host, and this thing also on the console is a USB device and not a USB host. And if you plug two USB devices together, they just don't talk. You need the host to negotiate like which direction and which devices to talk to and so on. So I don't have a USB host except the Raspberry Pi itself. And so I've got this slightly curious kind of hodgepodge thing. And let me connect this out so you can see it. That's the Raspberry Pi there. And in back of the Raspberry Pi, I've got a USB port with two plugs in it. So there's two USB devices. The Raspberry Pi actually has two USB sockets, but one of them is running Wi-Fi. I can't disconnect that, otherwise I'll lose the network. So I've got both the terminal and this EdgeTPU plugged in to the Raspberry Pi, and I'm going to use screen to bounce from one to the other. So let's see how that goes. So on the terminal here, I think it's in the root. I have a file called SCR that we wrote up last time. And it's kind of a hack. It's a real horrible hack. It basically says term equals xterm because screen doesn't like it when I run a hard copy terminal. So I'm just going to ignore that by saying, hey, I'm xterm, deal with it. And of course it's not xterm, but there we are. And then it runs screen to the USB device at 115/200, which is the speed that the EdgeTPU console is expecting. So let's look at that USB device. Oh, I hit my uppercase thing again. I can't do the capital U for uppercase. So let's see if there's a TTY *0. Yeah, TTY10. There's a device called TTY20. There's probably a bunch of these. And they're all kind of real TTYs waiting for something to happen. But so this is on the Raspberry Pi. And eventually, maybe, we'll see device TTY USB 0, I'm hoping. I wonder how many there are. Wow. Yeah, let me guess. There's like 100. So how are y'all today? I hope you're having a great weekend. It's beautiful and sunny here out in Boston. It's like a spring day. It's amazing. All right, here it is. There's my device. Dev TTY USB 0. And it's owned by Root, and it's in the group called Dial-Out. Was the ink as expensive back then as it is today? Yeah, good question. So the ink that I'm running on this thing is I got a silk typewriter ribbon. The typewriter ribbons, cheap and easy. You can fit any typewriter ribbon fits it. Basically, the standard like Underwood or whatever. But I hunted Amazon for a silk one because the cotton one gave me this kind of print that was you could really see the weave of the ink of the ribbon when you printed it, and the silk one has a way finer weave on it. And so, can I zoom any further in? No, I can't zoom any further in. But if you like maximize your screen, you maybe see it that this is like super crisp printing because it has a silk ribbon. And yeah, the ribbon cost like $10. Not too bad. And actually, I'm surprised that this has lasted quite a while. I don't know. I mean, I haven't replaced this ink ribbon, and I put it on there like 3 weeks ago, and it's still doing great. It shows no sign of fading. So anyway, I'm going to run. So I've got TTY ACM0. That's actually this. That's the Teletype connection to the Pi, and then TTY USB 0, which is it's in the dial-out group. That means it's a regular serial connection. And that's the one that I'm going to do screen to. So I'm basically going to say, let's connect my terminal here to that terminal there with screen. And I think that means it's okay. It's just waiting. We've connected. I'm connected to this empty screen, and the empty screen is on this crazy machine here. But the board itself isn't powered up, so there's nothing happening. So the other connections here are power and then a spare USB-C, which is not connected to anything. So if I plug in the power, let's see if I can do that without and keep it in view. Too many cables on this thing. Right, where is that power plug? There's my power socket. There's my power plug. Here. Hold that in there while I plug it in, and let's see what happens. Ka-chunk. Yes! Alright. So it is spinning with power. The fan is running. The power light has come on. The fan has gone off again. And I'm getting the U-boot boot sequence. So we saw all this last time. So this is literally the system console for this EdgeTPU based machine, and I flashed a Linux image. So I wonder if we can see what it's saying. So this is really kind of an interesting thing. It's connected as the system console. There's no Linux yet. It's not running Linux, it's running the bootloader. And there's no Getty. And now it says, trying to boot from MMC1, which is the internal flash. And hopefully I have the Debian image flashed on this properly. So we have a gigahertz clock. Oh no, yeah, we have a gigahertz clock. It could go up to 1500. It's at 25 degrees C. We've reset because we've done a power on reset. It's a freescale whatever. Oh, now I think actually I've skipped ahead. This is way further down. So this is loading Unix now. it's loading Unix. So I went straight through from the U-boot bootloader. I think the buffer just filled up and like didn't pause and kept going. But this is not U-boot anymore. This is the Unix boot. And I wonder, there's like some it should have had some handshaking that slowed the machine down to wait for the console to catch up. But I think maybe actually that we skipped like seconds of boot activity there. IPv6. I don't have a wireless IPv6. That's my USB. I don't know. I think that must be the USB-C. Okay, I still don't have IPv6. That doesn't worry me. I'm hoping I get IPv4. So this is amazing. Now, normally you don't see the Linux console, right? It's really rare. When you boot up a Mac, or if you boot up an Android phone, or if you boot up like a machine running Ubuntu or something, you generally don't log in to the system console. You'll just like that'll go to the log, and then you go log in remotely or through SSH or through like a graphical login. But now it says Coral log in, and I'm going to log in as Mendel, which is the username, and let's try the password. And there we are. We are logged in to this multiprocessor SMP. And I've got all this login message. I really don't want this stupid login message. The programs included with the Mendel GNU Linux system are free software, and it's going to make me agree to the license. But right now, we have a Teletype connected to the system console, but kind of through screen. Connected on the system console of this, yes, of this Linux machine. And, let's see what disk we have. Yeah, that's about what I expected. I have a 8 gig internal flash with a real small temp directory. There we are. Okay. I have that extra SD card, and somehow I got to figure out how to like mount it. And I've never done that before, so maybe I should learn how. And then I've also got this huge archive of stuff that was on the other machine, and somehow I want to copy that across here. Maybe I should do that first. Let's see what uptime says. Up 6 minutes. 1 user. 0 load. Yeah. There's no load on this machine. Oh, I know what I should do. I should do the Edge like demos. Because this is the whole point. It's the Google TPU machine. Let's try that, shall we? Right. I am gonna try switch here. Yes, you can see my browser. it says log in. So let's see what we've missed. Log in. You're at the da-da-da-da. I think I have a internet connection. Let's see. And this version of Unix is slightly weird. Well, it's Debian of some sort, but yeah, it's a little different. So I have my Wi-Fi is called all the same ISO at first, and it's connected as WLAN 0, and then there's like a USB Ethernet. Oh, then there's my other Wi-Fi. It's called I Blame the Parents, and that's not connected. And there we are. Alright, so I'm on the Wi-Fi. Yay! And I wonder, yeah, let me SSH into the Raspberry Pi. Yeah. Are you sure? Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Oh. And sorry, you can't see that, can you? I'm SSHing into the Raspberry Pi. And can I remember my password? No. I don't think this is right. Oh, it is. Okay. Alright, so now I'm on the EdgeTPU, SSH back into the Raspberry Pi. And in the home directory, I have this, I zipped up, like, how am I going to get my home directory across to the new machine? So I went onto the Raspberry Pi and just zipped. In
a tarball, the home directory for my NSR303 login.
And it's pretty big. It's, what is that? 624 megs of home directory. I have no idea how that happened. So anyway, that's the home directory for the ASR33 user. So that has all my GitHub repo. It has all my utilities, some Python, whatever. So I'm good with that. What I'm going to do is go back here to the call machine. Let's become root. There's something wrong with the hostname. And actually there was somebody posted the same thing saying issues with your thing. Let me see if I can read it. On Reddit somewhere there was a guy, somebody posted saying I'm setting up one of these machines and I'm keeping a log of what happened, and it turns out that the log is super useful. And somewhere, yeah, Debian stretch sources weren't part of this thing. LSB release. LSB. I don't even know what LSB release does. But I'm obviously running a slightly different version of Unix than this guy was. So hey Luna, yeah, we are. So I'm connected to this EdgeTPU machine, this Google Linux job, and what I'm trying to do is move to it, like properly. So first of all, I'm going to SCP my home directory from the Raspberry Pi onto this new machine. And I'm on the Wi-Fi on both machines, so I should be able to do that. And then I'm going to do whatever else I need to get the machine up and running. There's somebody else has one of these Coral Edge things, has like a log of how they set it up, and it's kind of similar to my experience, but a bit different. I think it came without the Debian repos connected, but I think my version of the OS is actually different. I don't know why. So this person said, tried to run a build of OpenCV, and it blew out of memory, and then installed a swap file, and then it ran a disk. I'm not going to do it quite the same way, because instead I want to use my big flash drive, and I've got like a 64 gig flash drive. Oh yeah, well, if my home directory tarball is 600 meg, oh yeah, I should have room to actually just copy it onto the default. Anyway, yeah, so, okay, I don't think there's any huge tips in this one that I'm going to need. I did Google how to mount a new drive, and because I've never done this before on a Unix machine, like, so I've got to figure out how to do that. I might need your help. And then on the Coral thing, we've done some of this. Yeah, I can SCP. I'm going to do it from the Mendel board. I'm going to call SCP to pull it in from my Raspberry Pi, I think. The stream buffers a lot. Yeah. It says I've got like 3,500k bits out. But Luna, you had internet outage, and so are you all back and running? I hope you're back connected, because having no internet is really terrible. Let me try something really fast, because this is actually really fun. For a video demo of the EdgeTPU performance, run this from the dev board terminal. It says, built into this machine is a demo. EdgeTPU _ like there's a demo app that's installed on this machine, and so I'm gonna run it. And this will mess up your internet even further. So I'm saying EdgeTPU stream, and then it says connect to a 192.168. something on your browser. So let's start the stream. Oh no. Could not connect. Connection refused. And I don't think it works then. Oh no. I wonder why. Oh! I think I've got hostname issues. Yeah. I think I've got hostname issues. I set my hostname to Coral. But where else? There's like 2 places that you have to set your hostname for it to work. And I don't remember where I set this. So maybe I've only changed one of them. This is the problem with not really keeping a good log. I think I've broken my hostname. So if you can figure out how to unbreak my hostname, then that would help. But what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to go to the home directory and I'm going to scp from pi at 192.168.1.109 slash home slash ASCII33.tpz. Let's copy that file to here. And this is fairly big, but hopefully that'll copy my entire home directory. Yes. Okay, let's hope this works. And it shouldn't take too long. Oh, it's going to do like line feeds. Alright. This could be a while. Oh yeah, this could be a real long while. ASCII hosts and ASCII host name. Yeah. Okay, well, I should try it. It's 1%. This is going to take forever with the log messages. So I'm going to break it. Just interrupt that thing. Because if it really takes... If it's going to log at this rate, then the logging is going to slow down the whole transfer to the point where it just takes forever. So let's interrupt that thing. Let's try to interrupt that thing. And, yeah. Okay. And of course, interrupting this thing is... I don't want to break it in the middle of everything. I don't want to break my serial connection because I haven't actually set up the serial connection properly. Alright, yeah, there we are. Okay, I'm back in line. Okay. Where am I? Oh, what? What? Why is it doing like history? No, I don't know why it's like retyping the whole of history. No. Oh well. Sometimes you just gotta let it run. You know, you just gotta let it run. So, while it runs, I'm going to tell you what else you're missing. One of the amazing things about this terminal, and it doesn't really translate when you're on Twitch TV, SSH from laptop and suspend the process. I could, that's right, I can SSH into this EdgeTPU machine and like kill whatever's running. I'm just rolling paper right now. Oh, come on. Something is going weird. I don't know, what's up with that? It's got self-aware. Yeah. It's just the terminal, poor thing. It's just too slow for the modern era. There's nothing wrong with it, it's just like so slow. Yeah, I might actually get to the point of SSHing in 192.168 192.1.107, I think, is the address of that thing. But I don't know if that's right. It's in some bizarro kind of a loop where it's repeating everything to itself. Can I SSH into the machine? Not yet. What's my alternative? Well, there is another alternative. This might be really disruptive. I'm going to plug in another USB to the Mac. And nothing terrible happened. And I'm going to try something else here. The thing I'm going to try is SSH on USB. Can I kill screen on the Pi? I can. Yeah, I could actually do that. And I think I might have to. I could just unplug the power, but of course I don't want to do that. Yes, I could kill screen on the Pi. It's error message being put out on top of the other process. Yeah, but at the same time, like, this count here is up to 18%. And so I thought I'd just interrupted it. And no, I haven't interrupted it. So let's... oh no, I'm as... How big is the buffer on the Teletype? That's a good question. Oh, I've got screen running. Oh, I've got 2 copies of screen running. How? What? Oh, that's weird. I don't understand that. Okay. Let's kill screen. So the the buffer on the Teletype, how big? I don't know. It is a good question. Yeah, I don't know even where the buffers are, right? There's definitely buffers there because something's happening. And at some point I'm going to learn, like, properly about flow control as well, because there's some, like, hardware flow control in USB, and then there's some software flow control, and I don't think I'm doing software flow control, even though this is kind of designed for Control-S, Control-Q to do that. But there's a buffer in Linux on the Teletype itself, on the TTY device. There's got to be a buffer there. I don't know how you find it. Secondly, there is a... Yeah, there's no screen running. Secondly, there's a buffer on the Teensy microprocessor that is the USB interface for this thing. And the buffer for that is like super tiny, in the order of hundreds of bytes, because I didn't directly allocate any memory for it. The Teensy has... Oh, I'm back. I've turned off echo. Oh yeah, STP1 saying got me back again. Let's see. Yeah, well that was weird. I got to 35% and I killed screen, and so I will have killed my connection. I couldn't somehow hear SSH into the EdgeTPU just yet, and I tried 2 different ways and it didn't work. So let's do the screen thing again. Oh, there we are. It's still running. Wow. Well, I'm going to leave it run. It's like 70% there. But that's amazing. So screen died, or I killed screen, and the TTY didn't die. Maybe, because it's the system console, I don't think it's possible to hang up the system console. Like normally, if you're terminaled into something and you disconnect the terminal, then it'll send a sig hup, and that'll kill your foreground process and log you back out again because the terminal went away. But in this case, it's the system console, and I don't think you can make the system console go away, or at least that's what it looks like, because it's quite happily still running. So that also means if I go back on this terminal here, if I were to kill that again, then my SCP task would still run. You think? And it's strange that screen has two processors. I don't understand screen, so... So somewhere this buffer is just unwinding itself, and yeah. Let's wait for it to unwind. So yeah, I can't kill the screen. That's amazing. Now I also had that problem of I can't SSH into the EdgeTPU. And that will be an issue if I need to be able to SSH into the machine from my Wi-Fi. So let's go back on here. 192.168.1.107. That's what I think its address is. Oh, maybe it isn't. Yeah. Huh. Okay, I'll get onto the machine and then figure it out. Okay, because the once you get IP address grep inet, yes. Yeah, so I'm going to wait a little bit before I fire screen back up, because then this SCP task will have finished if it didn't hang up. And then when I go back into screen, I should have peace and quiet and a big machine, a big file arrived. What do you think? That long enough? That's long enough. Yeah. Right, here we are. So I created a user called ASR33, and it has an empty home directory. And then there's this enormous tarball, and that should be, with any luck, the same size as the one that's on the Pi. And 642.3635. Okay. I guess I should share some that thing. Did I? Oh. Oh no. That's not very good. Wow, I have a MMC block error. That's no good. The chasm is the same, but I have a data integrity issue. Oh, okay. Well, anyway. Alright, let's see what my IP address is. I don't have a pipe symbol on the teletype, so I'm going to do this in reverse. I'm going to do grep inet from IP adder and we have localhost and we have localhost 192.168.1.107 on the wireless LAN. And then there's also a USB, a SSH over USB, which is what I thought there was. And so, surely, if I say SSH, Mendel at 192.168.100.2, yeah, maybe it needs a special like driver. When I plugged in the card into the Mac, it gave me a pop-up. So anyway, that's not going to work. Okay. So can I go 1.107? No. So it says it's online with that IP address, but I wonder why I can't like connect in there. Yeah, I don't know. Alright, hold on 1 second. I'm just gonna pause and take a 1 second break here. Alright. Alright, let's see how we go. Yeah. So I've got two things, I don't know, at least 2 or 3 things before this machine is really usable. I mean, first of all, this business of going in through screen from the Pi is like horrible, and I'm not going to get the system console connected to the Teletype because the USB is like the wrong way round, and I need a host. And so instead I want to do the traditional thing, which is run a Getty on the terminal, on the USB. Right? That's right. So how do I do a Getty? So these are my notes from when I had the Getty on the Raspberry Pi, and yeah, I don't know enough about this stuff to really know where these things are found, right? I mean, there's a Getty. Oh, it's in ASCII. Systemd system Getty. If I switch back to this terminal here, this is on the Pi. And there's a whole bunch of stuff, and there's a Getty configuration directory. Okay. Now, because of this being uppercase, I'm going to have to do this from outside of here. I'm going to have to kill this screen again and instead do screen from my terminal here. So I can't do the screen yet until I kill that. Let's kill screen. I don't know if I can like shut down. How do you shut down screen from the inside? I don't know. Kill these things. There's got to be a better way. But here we go. Let's just be brutal about this. 2650, 2651. Bye bye screen. Okay, I'm back on the Pi. The host name is upstairs. Screen killed my echo, so let's go screen. Dev TTY USB 0 115200. Okay. Now I'm on the Coral from an actual terminal, and I'm gonna do this. Oh, I need to figure out what TTY it's actually on. Let's see what TTY devices we have. We have these numbered ones. And... come on. More. Give me more. No, it's not going to give me more. What have I done? What have I done? I've stuck. Ah! Okay, rewind. Okay, here I'm back on the Pi. Screen, dev, USB 0, 115200. Okay, here we are. Alright, so I have TTY MXC0, and this is the, I'm pretty certain this is the console itself. And why is it not responding? I've got no keystrokes at all. You know what? I need to actually plug in the Teletype to this serial port, to the serial port of the Mendel Edge. I've got to actually plug the Teletype into it, because otherwise it's not going to go anywhere, is it? Okay, how do I do that? I have a USB-C connector. Oh no, this gets horribly complicated. I have a USB-C connector, which is the Teletype itself. Let's clear the screen here so you can see what I'm doing. This, and you can't really see it unless I move the camera out. Alright. This thing here, this cable that I just unplugged, is the Teletype. This is my Teletype USB. I have on there a USB-C, and I have it coming out to another one of these. So I have this kind of, I don't have a USB-C to mini, micro, whatever, connector. Oh USB, why are you so difficult? So I do have like a double-ended switch direction connector, so I guess I'm going to try it and see if it works. And if it doesn't, then I'm just stuck. And if it does, then who knows. Okay, so the teletype is definitely not really doing anything right here, but that's okay. I'm gonna screen to this console again. And see what teletypes I have. And that says console TTY0, console TTYMCX. I need a UDEV thing, don't I? I think I need a UDEV to get an actual like connection on this thing. How do I get this USB-C to believe it's a device, to connect that it's a terminal device? Alright. Frantically googling UDEV USB terminal, and you can have some UDEV rules, and askubuntu.com says something about UDEV rules. I've been trying to get my UDEV rule for work for a few hours now. This is reassuring. Supposed to get a new terminal, that's what I want. Add this, and then run, some other thing, I don't know. UDEV doesn't have display. Oh, well, that's stupid. Okay, that's not helpful. On this thing, it has a UDEV, which is actually a UDEV instruction for the host to connect to the console. So maybe that's something. It says subsystem USB, and then this vendor ID stuff, group plug dev. Yeah. Well, it's UDEV rules.d. Let's go look at UDEV rules.d and see if there's anything in there. ASCII UDEV rules.d. There's nothing there. Okay, so it's not going to find the teletype. Let's go to the Raspberry Pi and see if that has UDEV for the teletype. I don't remember how that works. But let's go find out. ASCII UDEV rules.d, and there is a okay, what's that? This is the EdgeTPU connects to the serial console thing, but what's that? Oh, this is all sorts of stuff. Oh, all sorts. What? SPI, input, I2C, GPIO memory. This is Raspberry Pi stuff. TTY AMA. That's not what I'm running. I am on TTY ACM 0. Huh. Well. So. I think I want something that actually says Ooh, oh wow. Oh my goodness, the heatsink is getting really hot. Oh, that's interesting. I have 4 CPUs, and they're not at all busy. My load average is 0, and the heatsink is warm. I guess the fan's not running, so that's okay. Worries me though. If things get hot, you know, that's usually a sign of something's miscalibrated. Alright, what am I going to do? I've got to get UDEV, and I don't know anything about UDEV, other than that UDEV is how Linux recognizes devices. And, yeah. I wonder, the device ID that this thing is going to come in with is going to be a teensy. I want it to recognize my teensy as a serial console, and it's a teensy 3 microprocessor. So let's go onto the browser and see if that helps. It says UDEV rules. Blah 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 blah. Oh, here we are. There is a set of teensy rules. How old is this? It's pretty recent. There is a set of teensy rules, yay! And there's all sorts of vendor IDs and product IDs. Yes, that's exactly what I want. Yeah. I think that's what I want. I want to go grab this teensy UDEV rule thing. Now it says, I have checking but not installing the UDEV rules on my to-do for the teensy Duino installer. The tough thing is about prompting for the root password. Da da da. Oh, by the way, if you haven't kind of used the teensy before in any of your projects, it's the best thing. I have one sitting around. Let me grab it and show you. And this is a Teensy 2 that I'm running here. No, Teensy 3, Teensy 3.0, and it is a Cortex M4 processor with a little bit of memory, and it runs at 100 megahertz or something, and it runs Arduino software. And so it's you just program it with Arduino and C, and it's tiny, tiny, tiny. But as you can see, it has a USB interface, and that's what's running my Teletype terminal. Yeah. So this is the serial interface that I'm trying to get recognized. And so this is a bit long-winded, but it's not too bad. And I suspect that there's a better version of the Teensy rules somewhere, and sure enough, this looks like a good place. It is a... Oh, here's the original. Let's go there instead, because yeah, the Teensy is amazing hardware, and this is a 3.0 version, and the 3.6 version is current, and it's incredibly powerful for a tiny, tiny thing. And it seems like there's a 4.0 in the works, and the guy that does all the Teensy stuff, Paul Stoffrigan, is absolutely one of the best people around. He does incredible software, he makes incredible hardware. Go throw him some money, because this is totally the best thing. So, now, here's my set of teensy udev rules. This must be set into 49-teensy.rules. And let's go here. ASCII udev rules.d. There's nothing there. Or lib udev rules.d. Oh, there's lots of those. Wow. So I think let's put it on ASCII because that says preferred location. ASCII udev rules.d. The directory exists, there's nothing in it. 49 dash teensy dot rules, and there's that stuff. And it's owned by root, which I think I assume is okay because it's udev. So /lib udev rules.d. These are all owned by root. Okay. There's that thing. Physically unplug and reconnect the teensy. Well, it's unplugged right now. So let's plug it in and see if we get a Teletype terminal on it. And I don't think I got a terminal. I unplugged and I reconnected the teensy. The teensy is connected in this bizarro switchback way through a USB A to A connector, which is completely illegal. And so maybe that's a problem. Who knows? Could be. My alternative being probably something that's even worse. I don't know if I have an alternative. I have no alternative. Looking at my random collection of USB plugs. Oh yeah, maybe that's good enough. Yeah, maybe that's good enough. There's one here which avoids this switchback thing. And let's go see how it looks. Alright. Is this really a sensible thing? Who knows? I'm going to try it anyway. I have a USB-C to this thing. I'm going to plug this in here. This is a USB extension. Oh no, it doesn't work. Yeah, that doesn't work. I don't have any USB-C to this. I do have USB micro to that, but that's the same as a cable. I've got one of those already. So if my switchback thing doesn't work, I need to go buy a cable. So, failing on the Getty side, because I don't know what my USB teletype device is going to be called. It's not connected to anything right now, so we've got no nothing. I am at least connected through screen, so that's something. And I have this enormous zip tarball of of everything, so I can at least like unzip all of that thing. So I've at least copied some software across via very dodgy SSH. So let's see. At least I've made a backup of my Pi. Well, that's not really good enough to get very far. I need to figure out a USB micro to USB-C serial cable. I think that's going to take like a trip to Best Buy. This machine is obviously running really fast because that's awesome. Oh yeah, the reason my archive was big is because I use pyenv, and so all my local copies of Python are actually installed in my home directory, which I'm very happy about because it means all my Python dependencies should just come back in, and the EdgeTPU's Python stuff should still be fine. But I still have to do this, like, connect to the Pi and screen to get to the edge. And yeah, what was that thing about the host name? The host name is broken. So I've got ASCII hosts and ASCII host name. So when this is all unzipped, I'll go look at those. One step forward, one step back. 2.5 steps forward. Little bits back, who knows? Yeah. While this is running, let me show you a couple other things that arrived in the mail, because they're really cool. So Fuzztex, who runs the Retro Battle Stations Reddit, sent me one of these. Like, that is the coolest decal. It is totally the coolest decal. I have to figure out where to put it. It's not going on the Teletype. I think it has to go on my laptop. That's totally awesome. Then the other decal that he sent me is this, and if you have used a BBC Micro in a past life, then you'll recognize one of these. It's enormous, actually. Like, this is the BBC Owl from the 1981 whatever BBC Micro series, and when it's on the machine on the BBC, it's like an inch. It's a postage stamp, and this is enormous. So again, I have to find some great place to put it. Maybe it's just on my Mac. But this is totally awesome. So go check out the Retro Battle Stations Reddit, because Fuzztex, who runs it, does awesome things. And he also runs this great BBS that is kind of fun. So I don't want to do any new work on the Pi, because I'm unzipping it all. Like, I could still do things with Git. Oh yeah, well... So yeah, I can do new work on the Pi, even though my Edge is kind of running. Any suggestions? What else should I do? I think the next thing to do is just wait a little, check out this thing. Oh yeah. My other thing on to do, I'm going to plug this back in. Why is that not doing anything? Oh, maybe the whole teensy needs a reset. Conveniently, there's a reset button on it, so I can just hit the hard reset. And I might get myself a Getty on a Raspberry Pi. Nope. That didn't work. It seems my system is incoherent now. Hit the power, or not the power, I'm going to hit the hard reset. And nothing good happened. Okay. Well. Yeah, whatever. Okay. Now I'm still root. I'm going to go check ASCII hosts. It's called localhost. That's fine. Oh, 19. Oh yeah, it's called indigo-quill. This is the automatically assigned thing. So, yeah. Well, let's do it with ED because this is supposed to be like a retro thing. I can't do it with the. I can't do it with the Teletype just now, but ASCII hosts, and there. I want to delete that, and I want to append 127.0.0.1 Coral. That'll do. Okay. So now I have host name set there, and then ASCII host name. Okay. That's great. Let's run this Mendel demo while we're here, because it's quite something. Going back to this thing on the browser says blah 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 blah. Copy file EdgeTPU demo -- stream. And then connect to a browser on a browser. So let's try it. Edge TPU demo stream Edge TPU _ demo. Okay. I think it's working. 192 on the browser. Come on. It's not working. It's not reaching it. No. Listening on port 464. That's very weird. Okay. Doesn't work. Okay, let's interrupt it. I'll run that again. I may need to restart the system or something, because why not? Yeah, and we're on the system console, so again we get this auto boot thing, all of the system console-ness that we just saw printed out on the Teletype. And this is why I don't really want to connect the Teletype as the system console anymore, because it means every time I start the machine up, I'll get this enormous stuff, and I don't want that. So, try this thing. It's supposed to be running a streaming demo, and I can't connect to it from my browser. But I couldn't connect to it from my browser anyway, because the Wi-Fi. It is on the Wi-Fi. This machine is definitely on the Wi-Fi. It is on WLAN 0 107, and that is the same IP address that I had before. I might be I might have to resort to like a hard physical connection, which would be terrible. Like wires? I don't want an Ethernet wires. I want Wi-Fi. Alright. Well, so this is what happens. New hardware. I got the wrong physical connections. I can't connect it to my Teletype. My Teletype is refused to like connect back to anything anymore. Nothing's working. Everything's broken. I'm gonna restart. I'm gonna shut down the whole of the Teletype. I'm gonna shut down the Raspberry Pi, and that means my screen connection just went away. Then I'm gonna unplug this thing. Then I'm gonna plug it back in again. And hopefully, just to check, hopefully the Raspberry Pi will boot and I'll get the Getty and I'll get a login prompt. And if that doesn't work, then I actually broke something. I hope I didn't like, actually break anything, you know. I mean, it's possible though that plugging USB back to back like fried something. Oh no, I broke my supercomputer. So let's see. But I think this is the end of today's session. Not massively successful. I need to go buy a cable at a minimum. This is good going though. I didn't break anything. I am back online. Teletype on the Raspberry Pi. Yeah. So nothing's broken, just nothing's really working. But I think that's enough. Yeah. No, Sudo is not here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. At least that was a piece of magic. Gopher. Coral Serial Console. Okay, these are good. I did some of this. I want to go back to that Control H thing because that was actually deliberate magic and I didn't know it was done yet. So I'm very, very pleased about it. Alright. Okay, let's go to line 1. We did go for the other day, so let's mark that as done. And now I have this one here, and again let's mark that as done by putting a dot in front of it, and then move line 1, 2 and 3, all of these down to the end. And line 1 is blank now. Let's insert the new thing I have to do, which is Getty and SSH on the Coral. I think that's it. My number 1 to-do line. Okay. I probably have a load of changes, but let's just update the to do and push it, and then we'll be done. Oh yeah, I can ditch my modified firmware. And the untracked files I don't really care about. I have them copied onto the Coral machine. And hopefully there's not too many important ones. Yeah, I was playing around with the ident. I don't know if you caught the beginning of the video, but my ident videos, I'm very pleased with it. It punches some nice paper tape. So check it out. I can go back to my original term info. Good push. Dash Q for quiet. And hopefully it'll just push it. And there we are. Super good. Good push. Is much faster when you run with quiet. So yeah, the thing that I just saw, which was amazing, is I said, actually I said ed, to do, but I spelt it wrong. I said T-O-T, and then, oh, let's do a backspace. There's no backspace key, but let's do a Control-H. And then it did a backspace. And that is a piece of magic. The Teletype itself doesn't understand backspace. But my firmware that's running on the Teensy does. It counts how far along you've got. And if you hit a backspace, and I think it just uses Control-H as the actual backspace, but maybe there are some escape synchronous as well. Then it literally does a line feed and counts forward however many -1. And I'm very pleased that it works, because it's been... I coded that a while ago, and I never tested it. And hey, it actually works! Control-H does a backspace! And I need to, like, whiteout. But whiteout, that's a different plan. That's part of the night mode Teletype plan. I'm serious about that. I'm going to do night mode Teletype one of these days. So anyway, maybe I should add that to the to-dos. Yeah, I'll add it to the to-dos. Because that's what we all need. Let's see if this backspace actually works. It seems to do it twice. It shouldn't do it twice. Yeah. So yeah, night mode Teletype. What could that possibly mean? I have a plan, and so there we are. We're done for the day. Thank you all for hanging out. I hope you had fun. I certainly did, even though it was dramatically unproductive. Join me next time. I'm going to try to keep this schedule of like a midweek and then a Saturday afternoon, and having a regular schedule, you know, it's not a bad thing. So anyway, thank you for hanging out. I hope you all enjoyed it. chat to me on Twitter. All of the stuff is down at the bottom of the screen. Check out my Etsy store. I have anything you might possibly ask for that's printed on the Teletype. You can just buy it. I can send you like printouts and punch tape. And actually, this punch tape works really nicely if you like. I haven't put these on the store yet, but this is the plan: is if you take like a greeting card and put tape across it, it looks so nice. And this tape doesn't have writing, but if you put like writing on it, it's a nice line of cards. And so I haven't put them on the Etsy store yet, but I will at some point. But let me know what kind of a card would tweak your fancy. And then I'll go print some, because, you know, that's what this is about. Let's have fun. Thank you, everybody. See you soon. Take care.